Thanks. Matt, the last couple of weeks, the first couple of weeks, you guys were getting a lot of praise in the offensive line nationally and locally. Then the last couple of weeks, it's gone the exact opposite way. Can you talk about maybe what has happened over the last couple of weeks? Is it just simple as fact as injuries with people playing new positions, or is it missed assignments? What's been going on the last couple of weeks?
I mean, it really just comes down to we're not playing. We haven't played well enough these last 2 weeks. You know, injuries are a part of football. You could find a culprit if you wanted to play that game. At the end of the day, the players on the field, we got to execute the job that's given to us, and we got to improve. It was the last couple weeks have not been good enough, and we need to improve.
Can you talk about, though, maybe what specifically is not happening?
I mean, it's there. It's more than just like it's not that simple. Technique has to improve, offensive line wise. We have to execute the game plan. We have to execute the protection plan. We have to win our one on ones. There's tons of different positions we get put in and different protections that are called, and I expect myself, the entire offensive line expects us to execute those whatever's asked of us, and that's really what it comes down to. We have to execute the techniques and the assignments that we're assigned to do on the given play, every play.
All right, let's go to Will Palachik for the next question.
Matt, it seems like you guys have been very vulnerable to when the opposing D lines have been running stunts and getting a lot of penetration. How much kind of do you have to use your role in terms of making sure that everyone kind of has their assignments down?
Yeah, I mean every play starts with me making sure everyone's on the same page. If we're talking specifically protections, where we're miking, where we're sliding, what we're doing. If we're doing something different or depending on the play, there's tons of different possibilities essentially. And then at that point, it comes to like, what do you want to call it? Like a football intelligence level too. The defense, they got tons of different things that they can do or out of any given front. You just have to, as O lineman, you have to be ready for that. That's where your film study comes in. What should I expect here? Are they going to run a TE game? Are they going to run an ET? Is this a look that they do, or are they just going to push the pocket? That comes from film study. And then once you get in the game, you got to be able to play fast. We get to the line of scrimmage. You recognize what they're in. You recognize what can they do out of this front, and then execute whatever they give you, because you can't guarantee what they're going to give you from film study. You can get good tips, but you have to be ready for any possible move or game or stunt that they can do.
Are teams defending you differently the last 2 weeks than, say, the teams in the first 3 weeks you faced?
Every team's different. I wouldn't say that it's some trick that they figured out. It just comes down to every team does things differently. Every defensive team has different game plans. Maybe there's similarities between teams, but I wouldn't say that there's like a trick that they've figured. We just have to execute the assignments that we have on those given plays.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Joe Person next.
Hey, Matt, we were talking to Matt today and kind of about Robbie getting frustrated, and there was a deal on the sideline yesterday. As a kind of offensive leader, do you have any concern about that and kind of wanting to keep a guy of Robbie's stature kind of happy and keep it from boiling over too much?
Hey, I mean, I didn't. I was not aware. I didn't notice or hear about it until today. We want to win. Like we're everyone on this team. We want to win. We want to play well. Everyone wants to. If it was up to us, we'd be dropping 50 a game. But when it comes down to it, we have to execute our jobs. I don't even know what was said. I don't really know about the situation on the sideline, but I know Robbie, and I know that dude wants to win, and I trust him.
Guys, I don't see any other hands raised. You guys have any more questions for Matt?
Yeah, I'll follow up, Matt. Last year, you guys kind of, I mean, I'm going to have to remind you, a couple losses started snowballing. What gives you confidence that this group, is different and can avoid that sort of skid, so to speak?
I mean, we got Minnesota this week. We got Minnesota coming in. Big game. Every game's a big game. We're focused on winning this week. Offensive line-wise, we're going to improve. We're going to work on improving our techniques, improving our fundamentals, improving execution. And I mean, you don't want to get into – you're not forecasting like a game, whatever, streak. The goal is win this week. We want to know this week. That's the entire goal.